We're rolling on sound as well. Speaking to your microphone.
Hello.
All right, that's pretty good. If I was to talk really loudly, it won't peak, will it?
This is probably the loudest that I would speak.
All right, good. That's good, isn't it? That's good to know. What were we talking about just then about your song?
I was basically just saying how it was born out of insecurity and that feeling of inadequacy and feeling like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So as I remember the day that I was writing it, it was just a shit feeling. But now that I look back and can see that song was born out of it, I'm kind of like happy for feeling that.
How did you feel singing it on Thursday night?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, and it's kind of a tough song vocally to sing. So I think if you're nervous, like that shakiness kind of creeps through.
Yeah, but I think it was amazing, to be honest. Like Ellie was saying just then, that because you feel the words of the song, it just sounds so good. Like, I'm sure it was technically perfect as well, and we can refer to the footage for that one. But it just sounded so good because you can tell you believe what you're saying. Like, it's beautiful to watch.
I feel like I'm not good enough, and I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's another thing as well that I struggle with when I get nervous playing live is actually connecting to the lyrics. And I think the other night I was present enough to kind of be thinking about what I was saying as well, and that always comes through and resonates because it's it's the way it should be. But I find myself sometimes performing and I'm just kind of going through the motions, and it's like a blur. It just breezes by and I don't remember what I was actually saying. And I think to myself, well, if I wasn't connecting to the lyrics, how would that emotion be being felt? But
In those moments, could you be just having fun, though, and just enjoying it? And, like, isn't that the essence of what you want to do when you're making stuff, is to lose yourself in it?
yeah, definitely. It still must work, and I think artists probably struggle when you're playing the same songs over and over. They probably struggle to reconnect to the lyrics all the time.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be nights that I'm not necessarily feeling like that. And
Especially if you write a really happy song and you feel like shit.
yeah, exactly.
You gotta play a show that night.
Not that I've ever written a happy song.
No,
I swear I'm
exactly.
happy. I swear I'm happy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm happy today. I
Yeah.
would love a happy song to add to the set because it's so downbeaten. And,
Yeah.
I think it needs something a bit more uplifting.
Do you have to be in any kind of mood to write a song?
I definitely have to be feeling something, I think, to sit down and write. Like, there's times where I'll sit down to write a song for the sake of writing a song, and you probably experience this as well as a songwriter. You sit down to write a song and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just not happening. I've learnt that when you're writing, if as it's happening it's stirring something up inside of you, then you're generally probably on the right track.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it as well, is you can't, I think, as a songwriter, just purely wait for something to happen or wait to be feeling something. I think there's definitely times where you need to push yourself, like you were doing when you wrote those 300 songs. You'd write a song a day without fail. I think maybe something like that would be really good because inevitably you're going to have like some great ones come from it. And that was evident as well from the bunch that you wrote.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have shit ones as well, but you're always going to write shit stuff or make terrible art.
Definitely, and I think that's a part of it. Like, it's something to be embraced. You need to embrace the fact that it's not always going to be working and it's not always going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Then it makes the good moments better as well. Because if I sit down to write a song and it's not working, I'll generally just put it away and not finish it. Where I think maybe it's probably good practice to just finish it off. Even if it's crap and you don't use it, then it's out of your system type thing.
How many songs do you reckon you actually have in the bank that you could never go back to, or you could just pick up at any point? How many are just dormantly sitting there?
Yeah, there'd probably be somewhere between 20 and 30 like completely realised songs. And that's because of what I was just speaking to as well. I'll start writing and they'll just get like lost in time. So That's probably another reason why finishing songs is good, is because
Yeah.
all of those 30 aren't good. But there's probably like between 100 and 150 that went unfinished.
Yeah.
But the same melodies sort of creep through, and the more you write, you'll have uniqueness in your songs, but you start to like form your own sound as well. So all of those lost melodies, I guess, are probably, they're all still in here. Like,
Do you feel like you're kind of always telling the same story, but just getting better at telling it in a way?
well, I guess at the start, to answer your question, I didn't actually know what I was trying to say. So for that reason, the early songs are kind of a little bit nonsensical, and are kind of not hiding behind metaphor, but using a lot of like metaphor and stuff like that to just kind of paint a picture. Like, there's definitely a time and a place for that, and I want to still write like that. But I think in recent times, I've moved towards just being a bit more vulnerable and confessional in what I'm trying to say, and not hiding in a sense.
Okay.
But I still love those types of songs as well that like kind of might mean nothing, or you might not be able to pick up on the meaning straight away. When you tap into that kind of state and it's kind of just pouring out of you without you thinking about it or judging it too much, I think it's inevitably going to mean something.
Yeah.
Because it's your subconscious talking at that point, and arguably there's more meaning that comes through from that than what you actually consciously want to say.
Yeah. Where's Charlie? Charlie boy. Charlie. He's just out yonder.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, bye, doggos.
That's good. Get them out of the shot.
Nah, it's great having them run around.
We used to walk them through the Yuyangs, and I would run off and hide behind a tree and leave them with Mum, and then yell out cooey. They'd come running and try and find me. And out of that came, now it's the only way that we can recall them, is to yell out cooey.
Didn't work.
They didn't even look. It wasn't loud enough.
Nah.
Morgan gets a drift going like a racehorse a little bit.
100%.
The
Running diagonally.
the thundering hooves. And I think it was because we had like treats
Hello.
we had treats at that stage. So this one is so motivated by food
Yeah, okay.
that she like will always come when you cooey.
Cute.
Have you been writing anything lately?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. This isn't about me.
I know that this is a side of it that you love, and same with production and stuff, but I know that there's an artist in you as well,
Yeah.
and an artist that I'm inspired by as well.
Thank you.
So
I'm glad about
yeah,
that.
I'm curious, do you get more enjoyment out of being the artist or being the producer? But I guess like production is an art form as well.
Yeah. Anything where I'm doing something with someone else is the most fun. I love the shit I make, but it's like journaling for me. Ever since high school, it's always been the thing that I do to express my emotions and like stay in check with myself. That's why I guess I've never released half of the shit. I've got like 400 or 500 songs now, really.
You're a really prolific songwriter.
And I've got like one out. I want to help other people put stuff out, because then it inspires me to do it as well. And doing this and setting this up is that I want to work with as many people as possible and do this, you know? I'll come to you and let's have a chat and make some shit.
Yeah, no, I think same for me. Like the most fulfillment I get are the times when I'm working with someone else.
Yeah.
And I started playing music on my own and writing on my own, but now I'm at a point where like I can't even find the juice inside of me when I'm on my own anymore. Even if I'm like singing and I'm on my own, I'm like, who am I doing this for? Like, especially if you're like really like giving yourself to it, which is what like I try to do when I sing, like to give a little bit of yourself. I'm like, who am I giving this to now if I'm sitting on my own? So yeah, I just want to more and more push myself to just find like there's so many great people that we have to work with. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why it was amazing seeing you play on Thursday night.
Thank you.
And like I teared up in your second last song because I was like, oh shit, this is it. Like, this is what we want to be doing.
Yeah, and I think
you just did so well. I was so fucking proud of you. It was amazing.
Thank you, mate. Yourself and John as well said like that you got emotional at a couple of points.
Yeah.
When I think about like why I want to be an artist and a singer and stuff, it boils down to like you want to be making that connection. Like that's the magic with it too, is being able to make that connection. So
exactly.
You don't always know when that's happening, and especially if you're like me and you don't always have the full amount of confidence in yourself, you kind of question whether or not it's happening. So those little moments where like you receive that feedback that there was a connection of some sorts. It sounds so cliche and cheesy, but that's really what gets me going. That's what I want to try and do.
I'm a rolling stone, all alone. Before life I've said, my
one of the big motivating factors is like making that connection. The connection that music has had that impact on me since I was a young boy. Like
Exactly.
that's how I fell in love with it. And you can project yourself into the songs, and you
Yeah.
can relate to them in your own way, and you can feel your own way about them.
Yeah.
To have that happen from something that you wrote is like a goal of mine. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. I think if you're honest, like and I've always admired about you as well, is your honesty in your songwriting. Even from first year when we were studying together, that was really inspiring. Like just the truthfulness and the authenticity in it, and that's what connects. That's why your songs always connected with me as well. So I think it's probably easier to achieve than taking nothing away. Like I think it's just like, you know,
Just
if you're
be
being
real.
honest and you're being real, like somebody's gonna see
If
themselves.
you want. And you're saying that you want to, so just do it, because it's scary, it's being vulnerable. But if what you're looking for is to be more vulnerable, just be it. And I saw that on Thursday.
Yeah,
It's
cheers.
awesome.
I was watching like a podcast last night of Jason Mraz. He was talking about his songwriting process. He said it doesn't work for him when he tries to write from a character perspective or tries to write about something that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He says like all of his songs are just writing about what you know.
Yeah.
What we all know is like how it feels to be human, and like I just like to capture that is not easy, but it's something that would be amazing to be able to do.
You're rambling round for a life of sin.
So what's the name of the song that we're releasing?
I'm thinking because the main hook and the last line of the song is "When You Were Young," so I just called it that as sort of a placeholder title. I think as you brought up the other night, the Killers have a song called that, don't they?
Yeah, but whatever.
And that's such an amazing song.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, we can call it that, and I guess then that's not something that you should worry about, because I guess when you start worrying about that, you're starting to worry about how popular it can be. And you know, I've been guilty of being motivated by that, but I think it just leaves you frustrated because it's the wrong reason to want to do it.
Yeah.
And there are genuine reasons why I want to do it, and so I need to lean into those a bit more, I think. If we can just get this one song produced.
So that's the plan of attack right now, right? That's next on what you want to do. Play more gigs and get one song out.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that when you were young, I think it's time now to just like produce that and make that the one song, and just go from there. And it will just be a relief, because I've put so much pressure on around the debut single, because I've seen like so many of my idols, like Missy Higgins. I think her debut single was Scar.
Yeah.
And like that's just like a huge all-time song. So I feel like it has to be perfect, but I think if I just wait, it's never going to be perfect.
Exactly.
So I think it's the right time now to just pick that song and then build from there. Because, yeah.
Exactly. Because they're the same. I need to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I keep changing my mind. I've chosen this one. I've chosen this one. I'm going back and forth. If I had have just picked one by now, finished it and put it out, I could have put out 10 songs last year. I
Yeah.
could have put out 12 songs last year.
Yeah,
if
for
I
sure.
just had picked one for a month and worked on it, but I haven't, because I've been like building stories in my head, and then I'll write something else so the story changes, and that's been happening for 6 years now.
I can relate to that pretty wholeheartedly. Yeah, that's what goes on with me as well. Yeah, like I've heard so many of your songs that would be like releasable, and I think I'm not sure if it's "I'm the Setting Sun."
Yeah, that's a great one.
You are the only one. Is that how it goes? Is that the words?
Hear me now, you are my only one, and I am the setting sun. So turn around, let me warm you.
That song always hits me pretty hard, especially the way you sing it as well. It's really raw, and like there's like pain in it, in the delivery. So
I don't mind that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
See, I could go first with that, but then I'm like, no, I'll go with Smoke, and then I'm like, no, there's two here that go really well together, and this one's a kind of dancier, punkier track. I'll use that first, and I create a A-side, B-side with that. I'm just like, just do one.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with writing so many songs as well. You end up with like bunches that live in the same world.
Yeah.
And I think that's like how like albums and like concept albums are built. They all like belong together. And even though I don't write nearly as many songs as you, that started to happen with me as well. It feels like I'm writing, as I said earlier, like you say, there's like one song that you're trying to write over and over. It feels like I've got like 2 or maybe 3 songs that I'm trying to write over and over.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, and I think that's part of why I haven't wanted to release as well, because I've been feeling like, well, if I'm writing the same song, then I should just keep trying to get this song perfect before I release it and say what I want to say. you know, it's time now to get it out because
Yeah.
it's probably not going to get too much better.
Mm.
And your old songs, like, you would probably relate to this as well. Like, I guess you can have like early songs and old songs that end up being like way better than more recent ones.
Dude, literally yesterday I relearnt, and it took me like an hour to listen to myself playing it and figure out what the chords were, because it's in a weird tuning and with a cape on, and it took me ages because I'm just dumb when it comes to learning my own songs. But I figured it out. And it was from 2021 in March when I wrote this.
Right.
And I played it and I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And it's like the stuff that I ended up realizing I loved the most when I did the 300. Those are the things that kept coming up. So it's made me appreciate that stuff from before the 300.
Right.
So, yeah, I know what you mean. You can go back to an old song and be like, wow, this is amazing. I
Yeah.
have to work on this.
As you change and grow as a person as well, the meaning of your songs change to you as well.
Absolutely.
And I always thought about it like it's not like a painting. Like a painting's kind of set there. But I guess it's the same as well. Like, it's kind of fluid. Like, how you're feeling when you look at it is going to dictate what it means to you type thing. Tilda, stop it. Stop being naughty. Sit. Sit.
It's Charlie. It's been annoying.
Charlie.
Sit. Boy.
Have you got a lighter, Nate?
Nah, Elroy.
You got it.
What are you hoping for? Do you have an end game, or do you just enjoy doing this and you just want to do it? You mentioned wanting to connect with people and share emotion and elicit emotion, but do you have like an end goal?
Well, I think like I was speaking about a bit earlier about like being motivated by the wrong things. I think I've been guilty of trying to project and envision what that end looks like too much. So then when it inevitably looks nothing like that when you're moving through it, it makes you feel like you're down or you're not doing it.
Yeah.
But as you've taught me as well over the years, is like you need to really enjoy the present and like and when you think about it, like we're just doing it like right now. So like those desires to connect and those kind of, I guess, more genuine motivations have come later for me. So early on it was like, like I want to be like famous and and like that would be so cool and stuff like that. But it's not going to benefit you to chase that. So like I'm moving towards a point now where it's like I just want to play and enjoy playing and connecting with people and like try and have fun while I'm doing it. And then just try and abandon that end goal. Just release music and hopefully people like it. If they don't, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I guess like now it's like my goals have changed like in a big way.
It'll always change, I think. It's good that you just want to like be now. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the toughest thing to do sometimes. We've got a car coming down.
The old lady. This is my mum's ranch that she bought. Well, it's not a ranch. We call it a ranch, but I've looked up on the internet what actually constitutes a ranch.
What constitutes a ranch?
Well, I guess you got to have cattle.
Okay, true.
And we don't have any of that, so but yeah, we still call it the ranch, and it's just a great place. Yeah, it's a great place to be. Extra crispy chips. Need them a little bit well done, so it's just a little bit crunchy. People judge me for like ordering that because it seems like it's an inconvenience, but I think everybody deep down wants their chips crunchy.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, not soggy at least. I think that's the fear when I ask for that is I should say don't make them soggy instead of... that feels like even more of a jerk.
That sounds way worse.
Yeah, it's more of a jerk move.
That's way worse. I'd rather someone come up and be like, oh, can I please have extra crispy chips? Than like, don't you fucking make these soggy.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
Well, deep down, I just don't want them to be soggy, I think.
Nah.
But a little bit crispy is nice.
Yeah. Crispy chippy.
Speaking of a little bit crispy...
We're here with Dave.
I'm here with Nate.
David. What are you calling you? Dave? David?
I'm David.
What's your name?
My name's David, but you can call me Dave.
Okay.
And...
Just
David, yeah.
Dave?
Dave's fine. Everyone, people call me David, people call me Dave, so... Davith is fine by me as well.
David. I'll go with Dave.
Alright.
David.
I like David.
Okay.
Because it's biblical. Dave's more like Aussie bogan, but I guess...
That's alright.
Yeah. So just depending on how you're feeling, call me what you like.
Alright.
away from Crystal Palace. Hart didn't quite get that right. Oh, look at that! That is absolutely astonishing. You won't see a better goal than that this season. He's got all four, and Sweden have rather embarrassed him into the second half here. You can't coach that kind of brilliance.
Yeah, you fucking cracked me up when you did this to me. I was like, that's so funny.